Now the next list of modes which we'll be installing is animation and compact. We'll start with the Locomotion. Locomotion modes these days are a bit rough. So the current Locomotion modes are not perfect. Certain twitchy moments, bad aims, poor post jump landing physics is noticeable for a critical eye. Otherwise, it's only as janky as default vanilla physics. For the time being, download and install Enhanced Locomotion. The links are in the mode list. Also, one more thing, I assume you guys are currently using the Enhanced Locomotion right now, which is really good when it comes to the animation. It's so good with the weapon locomotion. It's one of the best out there, but common issue with all the current locomotions out there except for the frozen locomotion. So if you want a compilation of the best locomotion mods to make it as perfect as it gets, I have that video coming later. We'll come on to that. So for now, for quick locomotion effects, use Enhanced Locomotion by Wombat, which is activated for me, and I placed right below B42 NV patches. We'll start with modes that are below Locomotion. The first one is Soft Lock Aim Assist. For this, it's optional because this mode will give you aim assist feature in the game. That might be beneficial for controller users. If you're not a controller user, then you don't need that mode. You can start modding from True Movement onwards. So for True Movement, click on Files. So what True Movement does is it would add realistic physics and stuff. You can watch this video to know more about True Movement, whether you like it or not. Click on Mode Manager Download. Click on Download. The next is Ragdolls. This is a much needed mod in my opinion. This would add realism, especially in the death animation of enemies and you as well. Click on Mode Manager Download, slow download. The next is Sticky Ragdoll Camera. This would stick camera once you die in the screen in a video game called Fallout New Vegas. The next is Walking Inertia. This would add improvements in the walking animation in first person. This will add a speed curve once you start walking. So click on Files and download this mod. The next one is Diagonal Movement, much needed. You can move diagonally, which is not possible in the base game. For this, we will download the Diagonal Movement and the Ragdoll mode patch. Download the Diagonal Movement and then the Ragdoll patch. The next one is Realistic Movement. This would supposedly add realistic AI movement for the NPCs. Click on Files, click Mode Manager Download, click on Slow Download. Next is a few animation improvements in the game, starting off with Amakuru's animated Mojao. Click on Mode Manager Download, click on Download. The next mode is Animated Utility Pole Cable Back. Should add movements in the broken cables of poles. Next is B42 Inspect. This will help you inspect your weapon and weapon condition by pressing a key. Download that. The next is Animated Player Interactions. This would add animations in your player interaction. Click on Files and Mode Manager Download the first one. The next one is B42 Inject. This would add inject animations like the sting pack animation and so on. The next is Hit B42 Inject Animation Season 1. Click on Mode Manager Download. The next one is Hit B42 Inject Animation Pack Season 2. Download that. The next one is Hit B42 Inject Meat Animations. Would add animations when you eat the said food items in the game. These are a few list of modes for some of the consumable items in the game. More eating animations. Download that. Hit B42 Inject Water Animation. Download that. Next is Hit B42 Inject Sunset Sarsaparilla Animation. Next one is B42 Inject Liquid Courage. Would add animations to a lot of liquid consumables like the beer and so on. Next is player head tracking. This one is optional. Go download both of these, player head tracking and the ragdoll patch. After you downloaded both these two files from player head tracking, download the last mod, animated Pip-Boy Lite. First let us download the main mod. Click download, and then the Pip-Boy replacer version if you are using the Pip-Boy 2000. Yep, and that's it for the animation mods. I would add more animation mods in the list if that would enhance the gaming experience and the immersion. Now I will install all these animation files which we downloaded. Starting from True Movement, right click it, click OK, Ragdolls. After you've done that, select all these files, right click it and click Enable Selected. Copy all these files. Now drag these files and place it right below B42 Optics NV patches. Yep, and that's it for the animation. Now the last two subsections of mode which you're going to install is weapons and then light and atmosphere. First we will start up with the weapon mode. So the base for the weapon retexture is WAP. We will not be covering any new weapon add-ons or any weapon script changing mods from the Nexus because we want to have the vanilla experience as much as it gets. We'll only touch the texture part when it comes to weapon mods and also the effects. WAP is a great base for a weapon retexture mod that is as close as we can get for a vanilla counterpart. The retexture is as good as it gets, but do note it's not truly close to the vanilla. The guns look rusty and scratchy enough for a Fallout style texture replacer mod. For true vanilla, there isn't actually a mod. WAP so far on the internet is the best we can find, especially if we have installed NMC, Ojo mods that I mentioned earlier. Then this is a must go with it because vanilla low resolution textures will look completely out of place. We install WAP by the usual method. Click on files and then we install two mods, which is WAP year 1 and then WAP 44 Revolver Hitman animation patch. We download both of these using the mod manager download method. The next is WAP laser RCW. Download that. As you know, the links are in the PDF down below. The next is WAP Bossar and LMG main file. Download that. Next is WAP lever action shotgun. Go with the first one. Next is WAP sniper rifle. I'm going with the main file. Next is WAP rechargeable weaponry. Enhances the textures. Go with the main file. Next is WAP single shotgun. The next one is Type 2 replacer project. For this you need to scroll down and find grenade rifle replacer. This is the closest to vanilla. The next is weapon retexture from EVE. This mostly covers a lot of laser weapons. Now we are going to cover some FX mod. The first one being EXE. The next one is impact. The bullet hits on the walls, floors will all look realistic, respecting the weapon type. So this is a must. I'm going to go with the gaming rig version. The next one is impact compatibility patch. Mod manager, download that. Yep. The next is bullet traces. This is optional. It would add the traces for the bullets that you fire. It comes in both red and yellow version. I'm going to go with the yellow version. I'm going to download that. Next is Energy Visuals Plus 2.0. This is a must. This would add lights to explosion, projectiles, energy weapons, impacts and more. Go with the new vehicles version. The next one is B42 drop mag. When you or the NPCs reload their weapons, it would drop magazines on the floor. Go with the main version. Next is bullet impact load increased ESP less. I think what it does is at longer distance you can see the impact of bullets. The next is consistent spread, firearm accuracy and wobble fix. It does what it says. It fixes the wobble issue with the weapons in the game, as you can see the difference. So click on files, click mode manager download, then slow download. The next one is sound extender. Make sure you read the description and watch the videos. The main function is it would add dedicated interior and exterior weapon sounds, per material collision sounds for bullet casing, and per form collision sounds. Click mode manager download. You will not lose any immersion by downloading. You will only increase the experience. So make sure you download this. Next is JSRS Sound Mode 2.0. This is optional, especially for people who like to keep the vanilla weapon sounds. So if you want to keep the vanilla weapon sounds and if you don't find those weapon sounds outdated, then don't install this mode. I'm going to download this one, JSR Sound Mode 2.0. Run the game, play around with a couple of guns in the game and see if you like the sound compared to the default vanilla experience. And if you don't like it, just untick it. It's that simple. The next one is dismemberment tweaks. This is a mode that would make the body explosion a bit more realistic. That means not every gun could explode a body part. That is not the case in the vanilla experience. So if you're using a pistol, it would be so hard to explode a person's body. But if you use a shotgun, it would be much easier. That's what it does with dismemberment. Download that. The final mode is enhanced blood textures. If you have any issues with too much blood on the floor or screen, whatever, then don't install it. But otherwise it's a really good mode, especially if you like the gory stuffs in the game, the explosions and all. Then make sure you give it a go for this one. Enhanced blood textures. Download that. Now let us install all these mods, starting from WAP. When you double click bullet tracers, make sure it's in Fallout New Vegas. Click next. Go with bullets and pellets. I like that. Choose the default yellow and then install. Then go back to the usual procedure. When it comes to JSRS Sound Mode 2.0, here scroll down. Here just click install. The next is dismemberment tweaks. After we installed all these mods, select them like this. Right click it and click enable selected. Drag all of this and drop it right below little more lamp light under the visuals separator. That is just above atmosphere lighting tweaks right here. Place it here. Yes. By the way, if you don't like this much blood on your screen, then open enhanced blood textures. Once you're in the enhanced blood textures folder, open the textures folder of enhanced blood textures, go to gore and delete screen blood. Delete that. Now let's install the next list of mods under lights and atmosphere section. We'll start installing windows of the Mojave. The default vanilla windows are not accurate when compared with the interior. So Windows of the Mojave fixes that. Click on Files, Mode Manager, Download, Slow Download. Now go back to Mode Organizer, double click it, click Install. Now drag it and drop it right above atmospheric lighting tweaks. The next list of modes is Lumen, Ambient Lighting, Lucky 38 Lights Redone, and Afterglow Neon Illumination. So when it comes to the Lumen mod, currently the 2.0 version has its own issues. I don't recommend downloading this one because of the texture bug problem with certain weapons. If you find a version above 2.0 by the time you're watching this video, maybe that would have fixed the issues. Right now you have to scroll down and download the 1.5 version from the old file section. Click Mod Manager download. Download that. Click slow download. Also make sure you download the physically based beverage patch from the file section for compatibility with the physically based beverage mode that I mentioned in the episode 2 video. The next mode is Lucky 30 redone. As you can see the difference, vanilla versus the modded Lucky 38. It's a building in a place called the Strip. Click on files and go with the first one. Yep, next is Afterglow Neon Illumination. Click on files. Should add better realistic lightings on the signboards and all. Make it glow. That's what it does. Go with the first one. Click on download. Slow download. Now let's install these mods. Start off with the Lumen 1.5. Next is Lucky 30 redone. Next is Afterglow. Copy these 3 files, drag it and drop it right above atmospheric lighting tweaks and enable them. The next is a bonus mod for people who are watching this video so far. It's called Accurate NASA Stars. It's a really good mod that would enhance the realism of the stars in the game. Click on files and download Accurate Stars and Accurate Stars Mother Zeta patch. Download these 2 files. After that, let's install Accurate Stars and then Accurate Stars Mother Zeta patch. The next one is Dusty Distance redone. Click on files, click on Mod Manager download, click on download, slow download. Next is Hector FX Dust Storm. This should improve the dust storms in the game. Download that as well. Now let's go back to installing these mods. First one being Dusty Distance redone. For this, click on next. Go with the light version. Click on next. Here choose the fog distance 99k. Click on next. I'm going to choose Vanilla Nights. Click on next and install. The next one is Hector FX Deluxe High Resolution Retexture for dust storms. Just exit tutorial by pressing the cross here and then expand Hector FX. Expand 2048. Click 2048. Right click it and click Set as Data Directory. Click OK. Now I'm going to select all these and drop it right below Desert Natural Weathers. Now right click it and click Enable Selected. The last one, but a very optional mode, is Cloud Shadows. Just download it for now and play around. Just make sure if you like this mod or not, because you will have cloud shadows in your game. Sometimes you might not like it. Double click Cloud Shadows and click OK, and I'm going to place it right below Cloud Upgrade. Are we done yet? Hell no, we are not. Scroll all the way up. There is some changes we need to make. Here there is something called B42 Optics New Vegas patches. Right click it and click Reinstall Mod. Here scroll down and make sure that you select WAP Weapon Replacers. If you don't do that, you will experience this texture bug for sniper weapons. Now click Install, click Replace. Now go back to your plugins list in Mod Organizer to make sure that impact.esp is activated for it to function. We are at the closing stage of APpuDew's modding guide. And there is few more things that you have to do before we just say goodbye. We have finished light and atmosphere. And the next thing to do is disabling some mods. You guys must be wondering, why should we disable some mods? It's based on your desires. It's based on your options. And I will point out the mods you have to disable. Some mods really demand disabling, for few number of people. That's why I'm doing this section, because I like to cover all the audience. We will start off with disabling exe, because I didn't see any difference in the fire texture quality. And also, and I saw this weird black line following you like a shadow every time you move close in the interior of New Vegas strip malls. And I don't know why, but disabling exe would fix that problem. But this issue is resolved if you're using real-time reflection mode. Well, this mode is available on Nexus. You can either Google or go to our PDF. The link would be below optional mode section. By the way, if it's hard for you to find a mode in your mode list, you can use the filter right here and type whatever mode you want to find. Cloud shadows, just turn it off. Double check in your mode organizer if the cloud shadow is off. Okay, make sure that APpuDeW.esp is disabled. That's only for the tail of two-way silent guys. The next mode I'm going to disable is dusty distance redone. For a lot of people, especially if you playtest the game, this might appeal for you, but for me it doesn't, because there is no point improving the distant details if it's covered by fog, right? So I'm going to disable dusty distance return. So you guys must be wondering why did I even recommended you to install this mod? Because some people might have their preferences. I'm not going to say this again. Make sure that you have disabled these mods. But before load generation, I would like to provide a strip overhaul. This is a special bonus overhaul for the people who have watched up to now. You see the pattern here? I just rewarding everybody who kept on following this journey. But if you are not looking forward to strip overhaul, then of course you can skip. Well, this strip overhaul comes at a price. You have to disable higher priority load. Now you guys must be obviously wondering what is the issue or the conflict with high priority load and light bright strip overhaul. Well, on the backside of the luxurious casino, you will encounter this texture bug if you have high priority load. Luckily, in the future, there might be a compatibility mod. In that case, you don't have to disable higher priority load. So what will you lose if you disable high priority load and start a new load generation after you install strip overhaul? Well, the hard noticeable difference would be, look at these two images. This is the one with high priority load, and this is the one with no high priority load. So when you zoom in all the way up to the farthest mountain, you will notice that a load generation without higher priority load will have a rock design like this for the very farthest mountain. Yeah, high priority load does such a good job. The rest of the distant load, I don't see any difference with or without high priority load, because there is already enough load modes that are there in the load separator of New Vegas Mode Organizer 2. So there isn't much of a bigger difference except for the very farthest mountain here. So if this difference isn't big enough for you, definitely go with my personal strip overhaul. So before that, let me just disable high priority load and the performance of Titans patch. So for the strip overhaul, we need to install 6 modes. The first one being symbol open strip. So this would make the strip seamless. That means there won't be any loading screens, and trust me, it's not like super performance heavy or anything. Even if you have a budget PC, this will go a long way, no problem. So just download the main file only. Click on Mode Manager, download. Slow download. The next is the bread and butter light bright strip overhaul. This is the mode that adds a lot of things into the strip. It doesn't add any extra cues or anything, just add some more beauty into the game. That's it. Now for the light bright strip overhaul mode, I'm going to download the symbol open light bright and then Lucky 38 lights redone. Download these two. The next mode being desert natural weathers symbol open strip patch. Download this mode. The next is Lucky 38 lights redone. This is Lucky 38 lights redone. Just go and download this file. Since I already have Lucky 30 lights redone, I don't have to download it again, so I'm going to click exit. The next one being strip cinematic lighting overhaul. This would add better lights in the strip. Mode manager download. Now the much needed mod is Afterglow neon illumination. We'll download the main mod and then Afterglow light bright strip overhaul tweaks. So download the Afterglow neon illumination. We already downloaded it before, so you don't have to download that again. You only have to download Afterglow neon illumination light bright strip overhaul patch. Okay, after that let's install these mods, starting with symbol open strip and symbol open strip light bright, Lucky 38 lights redone patch, desert natural weather symbol open strip patch. Now activate these three mods. Strip cinematic lighting overhaul. Here make sure you have symbol open strip assets standard. If you're using New Vegas Reload, go with that. Afterglow installed. Light bright, very important. Click next and then click install. Next is Afterglow. Double click on that. Don't click OK. Make sure you have this and then click OK. Now I'm just going to drag these 6 files, drop it about desert natural weathers. So for the symbol open strip, I'm going to place it above lumen, activate that. The next is symbol open light bright. I'm going to keep it above Lucky 38 redone. Next is Lucky 38 light bright patch, which I will place below Lucky 38. The next is desert natural weather symbol open. Let me activate it and place it below desert natural weathers. Next is strip cinematic lighting overhaul. I will place it above the Lucky 38 patch. Next is Afterglow light bright strip overhaul. I will place it below Afterglow. Now I'm going to select Afterglow and Afterglow light bright patch and drag it and drop it below atmospheric lighting tweaks. Now let's talk about a few optional modes. I have provided some links in the description down below. I will showcase one because of the time restraint. This will probably be on my list forever. B42 quick throw. So what this mode does is, just like the modern FPS shooters, you will have a hotkey to throw grenades and all the other throwable weapons in the game. So once you install this mode, I placed B42 quick throw right below B42 inertia. See, now you can finally throw grenades using the G button. When it comes to final thoughts, a lot of things to tell you guys. Number one being a Vivid New Vegas mode called Lone Star. So if you're booting up a save from the internet, you will probably see the message called "You are over encumbered." This is basically because you're using the mod called Lone Star, which was recommended by Vivid New Vegas. This is a mod that brings more immersive challenges into the game, which includes lower carrying capacity. I thought you need to know, just in case if you thought my list of mods somehow decreased your carrying capacity. No, that's not the case. It's the mode called Lone Star. Just a quick note, that's it. See, I already mentioned about the profiles, right? There is one more thing you need to know. Before just jumping straight into playing and starting up a new build or whatever, well, it's not the time here. You have load generation, landscape and rock mods category as well. Be sure to watch that before jumping straight to the game. That's a different thing. What I was trying to say is you gotta get the sorting, or in other words, load order right, especially when it comes to desert natural weathers. Make sure that no mode other than weather related .esp files are below desert natural weathers. If there is any mode other than weather related modes below desert natural weathers.esp, it will mess up the weather system of desert natural weathers and everything will look dislocated. In order to sort this mode list, you can use Loot if you want. It's a software to sort things out. But the thing is, BW New Vegas would not recommend you guys to use Loot, not because it's game breaking or anything, but the Loot doesn't function well with an old game like BW New Vegas. So I think it's better if we activate all the modes one by one. Let's sort our game, right? Before doing that, you must have had certain modes that are disabled, like the cloud shadows, dusty distance redone. Well, you know what? Just drag all these unnecessary mods and drop it all the way below so that when you disable all the mods, it doesn't confuse you. Once you've done that, I will disable all the modes starting from the bottom until user interface. So expand all the separators like this up to user interface and then scroll down. Start copying from here. Drag your mouse all the way up to user interface. Now I'm going to place the mouse somewhere here, right click it and click disable selected. Now I will start enabling modes one by one, starting from mode configuration menu of the user interface. 1, 2, like this, go one by one. If you are using the strip overhaul that I mentioned before, if you installed that group of mods, make sure that you don't enable high priority load, unfortunately. But by the time you're watching this video, maybe high priority load, mode page, or strip overhaul light brights mode page might have a compatibility patch for high priority load in the future. If you have that, then install it and probably drop it right below light bright patch and then enable it. But for the time being, since we used strip overhaul list of mods and it doesn't have patch for light bright mod, we will not enable this. If you don't have the light bright strip overhaul, then enable this. Now let's go back to enabling the rest. Yes, we are done with enabling all the modes up to climate control 3D rain. This was the last mode if you remember. Now is it done yet? No, you have to go and disable this APpuDeW. Go to the filter section of the plugins, type LOD, select all the things that appear, disable filter and scroll down. Now drag all these files and drop it just right above DN weathers. Here make sure that nuclear load is right above DN weathers, and if you have high priority load, drag it right below nuclear load. Yep, and that's with the sorting, by the way. Also do note that certain people might like the landscape textures that I've made. I nitpicked some of the best textures you could find for the landscape on the internet and arranged it in such a way that it fits close to the vanilla style without sacrificing the quality. So for the people who want to go with my custom landscape and rock mods, then please continue watching this video.